Hey, Dr. Estes, nice to talk to you again. Today I'm going to be talking about 10 steps to conducting a comprehensive performance evaluation in sports. So, as you know, that video talked about a lot of wrong ways to do it, and because of it, it gave us a lot of right ways to do it. So, the first one that he talked about, and the right way to do it, is to make goals. And this is really important in any situation in life. I always like to, in track season, I like to make goals before every season, and then kind of reflect the beginning of season, middle, and then end to see if I'm actually keeping up with them. It's a really good way to remind yourself. I'd put them up on like my mirror and stuff like that, and so I could always be reminded. And he talks about making the SMART approach, which means specific. So you want to make sure for a job that these goals to your employees are very specific so they know what they're actually trying to accomplish. They're measurable, so if they don't meet up to those standards, they can see that there's something that they can meet up to. Achievable, so you want to do stuff that's pretty high, high but not too high, so it's not out of reach, and they always still have hope though that they can achieve this goal. Relevant, of course, to the job description, and then time bound, so trying to complete it in a certain time frame. The second way to conducting a comprehensive performance evaluation is manage goals through evaluation, period. So you're going to want to make sure that you're always keeping up with these goals, and like I said, checking back with them and just making sure that these goals have a chance to be met. And third, discuss performance during evaluation period. These kind of go hand in hand. So you don't want them to get to the end of the evaluation period or the appraisal and be surprised that the performance isn't good. You want to talk to them if something is off. And so when they get to that period and you tell them that something is wrong and that you maybe need to let them go or something like that, that they aren't completely shocked by the fact that you've had multiple conversations with each one of your employees, letting them know kind of where they are, if you're disappointed with them, or if they're doing a great job, which is also important to tell them as well. And being honest, which is just something that some people can struggle with, even as the boss. Some people just aren't good at having difficult conversations, and honesty is one of my strengths, and I don't like telling people what they did wrong, but I think it's really important because I always expect honesty, and if I'm not doing good, I want to know so I can try and fix it. I want to improve myself, or if I'm doing great, I wanted to hear it. And so being upfront with your employees and just being honest is really important. Statements are too vague, so you tell them, hey, like, by the end of this year, I want you to hit great numbers. Well, that's really subjective, because great numbers to me as the boss can be very different to great numbers as an employee. So when they get to the appraisal, they can say, well, I did what you said, I hit great numbers, but in your mind, that's not even close to what you were expecting. So clarify the type of improvement required. So it's not just enough to say, well, you need to get better. As a boss and as a leader, you need to tell them how to improve, or they never will. They'll be wondering, okay, I need to get better, but I mean, I'm not sure what that entails. And so if you tell them how to improve and then they don't meet that, that's whenever you can let them go or decide what you want to do in that situation. And then also taking performance appraisal seriously. So I know a lot of people, a lot of employers that I've worked with, they hate paperwork. They just fill it out mindlessly. They'll put in whatever they can just to get through it. And in this situation, you have to take it seriously because it is important to people's jobs and it's important to the improvement of the company. And so as much as everyone hates paperwork, nobody likes it. But as much as the leader hates it, it's part of their job description. And if they want the whole organization around to get better, then they need to take this seriously and sometimes have difficult conversations and spend the hours on the paperwork in order for the better good of everyone. Be consistent and don't take favorites. So I think everyone's seen a situation where the boss has an obvious favorite and he makes jokes with this other person and that he doesn't make with you, and it's just very obvious that they have a favorite. Well, this can get them into trouble whenever, so say that favorite is actually the best at their job. But if the boss was to give him a raise and not you, you'd be wondering, is it just because it's his favorite? It would just look really bad on the boss's perspective, even if that's the favoritism is not the reason that he is getting a better position. So it's just better to not have a favorite, and then of course be consistent, because consistency is key whenever you're leading people. People want to know what to expect, and yes, that's really important. Don't fudge the numbers, so don't say someone is doing good when they're not, because it could help you in the future, or you just don't feel like dealing with it, or for the countless of reasons that you could be doing it. Because as in the video stated, if they were to get let go and lawyers got involved, they would say, well, you said a couple months ago that they were doing fine, and then you ended up firing them, so what's going on? And there could be a really big legal case involved, because everyone knows people these days love to sue and get that money. And so this could be a very big issue, so it's just good to avoid it altogether. And then also document carefully. So this kind of ties in with the legal issues. So just in case something does happen, you want to be able to fall back on a very detailed description of what you have conducted. And so if people were to go back and look at it, they can point to exactly what was in the appraisal meeting, what was talked about from A to Z, and just so everything's clearly documented. And so yeah, those are the 10 steps to conducting a comprehensive performance education in sport. And I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the fall.